Welcome back to Karis Investments, guys, where we make investments simple, we buy low and sell high. Now, we have a quick video today to discuss three stocks that's going great for buying opportunity. Yes, guys. So, first stock we're looking at for today is Plug Power. Now, you guys saw my previous videos that we got in Plug Power at $17 per share, and you can see that we ride it all the way up to $72 per share. Now, I told you guys from day one, I keep it simple. I buy low and I sell high. This is exactly what we're doing right now. Now, if you look back in the last 3 months, when I start letting you guys know that it was time to get into Plug Power, we can see we have that a nice trend line going all the way up, guys, to 72 $73 per share. For those of you that exit the position, that's awesome. For those of you that's going long term, that's no biggie. If you didn't get to sell, if your picture is long term, you could stick to your plan. But my plan is to get as many shares as possible in these companies. So whenever they go up, you can see why I cash out. Now, in the last 10 days, specifically since last week, we can see Plug was trading very, very low. And then it goes up to that high, like $72 per share at 1.73. But the very first pullback we can see when it touches here, this was the 15. Guys, these were buying opportunity at $59 per share. Now, I went in briefly and then I was able to capitalize and was able to exit back out just below 66.50. Now, also in the last 2 days, I've done the similar play because I went in again in the low yesterday and was able to make a quick swing, right, for around 62.50. And then this morning, I'm able to go back in the stock at just $59.10. I'll see where it takes me from here. But guys, this is my plan. If it's not something in your plan, I don't recommend it because the stock could go up and then you could lose a few dollars per share. But in my situation, it works out. And this is what I've been doing on most of these EV stocks is that once they pump to the top, I sold off the top and then I buy back within $5 to $10 less and then keep adding more shares to my portfolio. Now, guys, next stock on the list we're looking at today is CleanSpark. Now, you guys know I've been riding CleanSpark since in the low, I would say $8 to $10 per share. I started making videos when it was like $13 to $14, letting people know it was a good buy. Now, we saw that CleanSpark in the same time period. If we go back here in the last month, is the same similar play as Plug. We can see, let's just go back to November because this is when we start to keep traction on it. So in November, you can see when it was in the low and below $10 per share. And then we can see as it get closer to December, it starts to spikes up. Here's when I take notice and I says, this is going to go up. And I let people know at that point that says, guys, this is an easy $30 per share stock. If it crosses 30, then $40 is very easy to accomplish. Now we can see that that dream came through. It went up as high as $42 per share. Now we start to see a pullback in the last, I would say, 2-3 weeks, right? And we start to see some pullback. Now, there was some news in terms of some fraud investigation that didn't help the price because the price keep going back down in the pullback. Now, I did a trade in the last, I would say, 3 days ago. And like 3 days ago, the first time when it dips in the 28, I was able to get in again, and then I was able to sell when it crossed over 31.40. Now, great news is I bought in back yesterday when it dips in the 27. I think it was 27.80 at one point, right? So I got in just around $28, and then when it go and then once it goes up to 28.80, I start to see like people were selling off. So I put my stop loss for 40 cents. So I sold off at 28.40. Guys, this is why it's important to use your stop losses. It saves you a ton of headache. Now we can see in the morning it opens up just around $26, but then push all the way back down to $24 per share. And then we can see right now, if we just take a look here, we can see since in the morning low at 24, we can see it's climbing up. Now it's sitting just around 25.80, around that range right now. So for anyone that got in, guys, I tell you, whenever the stock goes down, don't get panicked because I saw a few people make some comments. Oh, it's going down because fraud investigation. Guys, these things happen. We saw the same thing with NEO. When NEO crosses $50 per share the very first time, there was so many negative reports. The stock went on all the way to $36 per share, right? Before we see it rise back up to $66 per share. These reports will come, right? Part of those reports are legit, and part of it in plain simple. Most of those companies do negative reports, so the price could drop, so they can go in and buy a huge amount of share, and while you have to just keep holding while it go through the tough times. We see that happen over and over. So for anyone that got in back, now I did beef up my portfolio. I had a ton of share in the low 24s. I hope you guys were able to capitalize on that drop. As I said, guys, these are buying opportunities. Now, I stocked up heavily at 24.50. Okay. Now I do have a stop loss for the day because if it rides back down, I want to make sure I keep my capital, keep some of the profit, and then I'll be able to buy back if it goes even cheaper. So as I said, I beefed up at 24.50. I have a stop loss for the day that's set just below 25.50, right? So even if it drops below, I still make $1 per share on my investment. That's still okay, guys. Think about it this way: if you bought 1,000 share this morning at $24.50, right, and it goes up now to 26, even if it goes to 25.50, guys, you're still making $1,000 right there. If you look at it, if you look at in plain simple text, that's what it is. So even if the stock drop to 25.50 and below, I still make $1,000 basically just switching the shares today. Now my ultimate plan is long term, obviously, but I'm just accumulating more shares as we go and then keep the profit on the side as well. Guys, the next stock that we want to look into now is Blink. We saw the exact same thing that happened to Plug and happened to CleanSpark. The entire sector is down this morning. There's no secret about it. Um, Now for Blink specifically, we can see that Blink was down as well. Now it opens up. Everyone open up and they drop right away, right down to the bottom. At one point, Blink was trading at 42.80 around that price range. Guys, you got to capitalize on these drops, right? And that's what I'm doing all morning. Is just I kept going in. Okay, once it drops below 43, I go in and I stocked up a little bit, and then I was able to just sell Blink again once it crosses over 44. Now, keep in mind, because the market is volatile this morning, I set a stop loss on all these three stocks that I'm trading because I expect some kind of pullback. Because we can see in the last 3-4 days, it's the same pattern that we've seen on the EV side. So as soon as it goes up, if it decides to goes back down, then definitely I'll capitalize. Basically, my stop loss will let me keep a little bit of profit for myself, and at the meantime, I'm still able to have money to buy back in the stock if it gets cheaper. Now, if you're watching this video, please like, leave a comment, let me know what you think. And guys, let's try to grow this channel. If you have any info, please send it my way. Peace out.